Welcome to my channel. Welcome back to the Little Mother. It's been a minute. It's been a minute. So definitely it's been some months. Definitely a lot has happened in these last few months. It has definitely been a challenge to upload these videos, y'all. Like it has been a for real live challenge to upload these videos. I don't know how y'all do it. I say this all the time. Like I don't know how these people do it on a regular basis, but I am trying to be a little bit more intentional with my time and hosting and doing all the great things that can definitely bring some content to what I'm putting out. So this is the Mother. It is everything, everything, mother, everything, wife, everything, woman, every single thing. But today we are definitely talking about Forex. Haven't been on here a while talking about Forex. Definitely want to get into it. Definitely let's get into it. There has been some great changes that have happened to my life. I got married 3 months ago. Actually, yeah, 3 months ago, and right at 3 months, it's been exactly 3 months. Definitely was a great, amazing journey, and I'm excited about what the years that have come about that. But here we are back again, and so I'm definitely have some great some more content to put out, and I had kind of put a pause on life to try to get myself together, get adjusted, get everything, moving, married, kids, all that great stuff. So I am here. I'm back. Man, let's get into it. Let's do what we gotta do. Definitely we don't want to waste no time. Let's get into this video, and I definitely will try my best to put some more content. It's just so hard, y'all. It's like crazy. But yeah, we are definitely doing some outlook for next week. Past few weeks, I have been really engaging and really engulfing in gold because everybody knows. Well, people that know me know I've been trading for quite some time. Y'all know gold is my baby. Like I love me some gold, but definitely want to look at some other pairs. But we definitely going to look at some gold. Look at what's going on in the market. For sure, I gotta have my coffee, y'all. Like it's Friday night. It is not late, but it's kind of late, and definitely, um, we are definitely gonna look at some stuff. Let's see what we got. So we're gonna go ahead, pull the screen up. There we go. All righty then. So definitely, we have gold that was already up. As you guys can see, I have definitely been trading gold. Um, you can clearly see my screen has gold up, but I have not really changed too much on my chart. Can't get the words out. I haven't changed too much of my chart because gold has really been really executing perfectly for me. And it's definitely been good for me in where I've been trading. But I'm gonna go ahead, and it has been a whirlwind last couple of weeks. As you can see, this is gold. I am on the 30-minute chart. So what I am going to actually do, I'm not really going to change too much, but I'm definitely going to take all of this great stuff off. I'm going to move all the drawings. I'm going to move everything. And definitely let's talk about the daily chart. So let's go ahead and let's look into it. Let's see what we got. All right, so everybody knows how I like to look at the chart. I like look at the markups. I like look at the daily chart because the daily chart is definitely going to tell you your reversals. I don't care anybody says different. People can say what they want to say, but definitely gold on the daily chart is definitely something you want to make sure that when you are definitely going to your daily and weekly, but your daily chart is going to tell you exactly what you need to know, right? So let's go ahead. We got my weekly chart up. I know I do my supply and demand zones because this is what helps me actually execute the trade a little bit better. And so I color code mine, and this helps me when I'm looking at my supply and demand. So one thing that I have noticed is that it's definitely a lot easier to do supply and demand with gold because it actually helps you into the trade. And I have definitely seen a big difference in my trading when I'm doing supply and demand. So as you can see, gold has definitely been on the uptrend, and now we are at a resistance area on the weekly. So I'm going to go ahead and look at my horizontal line here because we see that it stopped here a few times. And of course, we got a crazy buy up. And so now if we look in the weekly, we can see that gold actually came, stopped here and stopped here. And of course, this is Friday. So we have some area right here that's definitely, it has definitely made a support area. So one thing that I like to always look at is that I'm going to do a small little zone right here. I'm going to just kind of lighten that purple up just a little bit so we can kind of see, just give it a little lighter color that we can kind of get the difference of what it's looking like. So gold stopped here, stopped here, stopped here. And so we kind of broke through this zone right here. So one thing that I know when we break through zones, no breakthrough, no retest, no trade. So we know that this is the area of pause. We know this is the area of stopping because we have multiple candles coming here, but I don't typically like to trade off of the weekly or daily. I just like to see the overall trend. And I know that we are here and we're coming to this particular area. So I'm expecting gold to actually, break through this area, maybe come back and do a retest and then continue on. That's what we typically are saying that it could do. But what we do know is this, is that gold actually, if we look to the left, because we always got to look to the left and see what's going on, we do have an area right about here that gold has actually paused, broke through this area. So we see that it stopped here, also stopped here, 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 and up in this area right here. So when we are putting up our support and resistance, we definitely have to understand that it's about the number of candles that are stopping at an area. So I'm looking and I'm going to probably make this a purple line. That way we can know this is daily. We can clearly see that this is area. And if we look where the present is, we know that we may have a potential drop to this particular support. But of course, if you don't trade off of the weekly, then this is not going to be for you. So let's go ahead and get to our daily. And we can clearly see that we are at a low on a daily. So one thing that I tell my students all the time is that when your candles have hit a low on the daily, we are definitely looking at a reversal. I don't care what's going on. This is going to determine a reversal because our candles have come to an area. And anytime that you want to know if your candles are going to reverse, daily chart is what you want to do. So I'm expecting gold, and this is what I'm hoping that gold actually bounces back up off of this particular demand area, because it's come here and it's bounced up. If we go to the left, let's see if it has any other areas where it has actually come to, and we can see that it's clearly coming into this box. So one thing we do have to understand is that where our candles are, they kind of paused and they gave us this little drop to this area, to the low. So let's go ahead and let's pull up that 4-hour chart, and we clearly can see what's going on the 4-hour chart. I'm going to color code that. We're going to make that pink. My 4 hours always going to be pink because I like to see the different areas, and I know that if I see a green, if I see a pink, I know what time frame it is. I don't have to guess. I just know that's what we're doing. So if I'm looking at this 4-hour chart, I clearly can see that we have definitely made us a clear down trend. So we're gonna go ahead, we're gonna draw this trend line, and we're gonna look at this trend line, you guys, and see what's going on. So look at the trend line, candles have stopped. We know that our trend line is definitely going to be a support and resistance, and it has constantly come to this area and it bounced up, hit this particular resistance, and then it came right back down, hit that support, hit that resistance, come right back up, hit that resistance, and definitely came back down. So if we look at these fractals right here to the left, we can see that this was an area, right? So let's go ahead and put that pink area, bam, 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 come right back up, right a little bit, hit that fractal, and it said, hey, I'm still not ready to get this buy action. So I'm going to continue on into this channel and continue all the way down to this part of the zone. So one thing when I'm looking at, when I see the 4 hour, I see that it's a 4 hour. I know that on the daily it's at a low. I see that it's on a low on a 4 hour. So I'm knowing that in order for me to execute this trade successfully, if I think it's going to buy, I know that, guess what? You see this accumulation right here? I know that eventually it's got to come back into this area if it wants to do what I typically want it to do, right? So if I'm looking to actually take this trade, I know that, hey, it's got to definitely come back up and it's got to break this trend line. And it's got to break the trend line in order for me to break it and then test that trend line. Because the thing you have to understand is that when you are trading, everything is all about support and resistance. It's all about what the candles have done in the past. It's all about looking before you to see exactly what's going on. That way you can kind of execute the trade however you want to execute it, whatever, how many pips you're going for, how many points you're going for, especially with gold. You definitely want to say, okay, hey, look, I know that it's going on this downtrend. It's been on this downtrend for quite some time. It did this for the last couple of weeks. It may have bounced up, but overall, we clearly can see that this is a downtrend, because one thing we know about downtrends is that it has to create these lower lows, and that's exactly what it did. It created these lower lows, and now it's at its lowest low on this particular trend. So let's go ahead and go down to the 1 hour chart, and now the accumulation that we had earlier, it's a little bit more clear. Now, remind you, this area is that small little zone that we had marked up, right? We marked up that small little zone on the daily, I'm sorry, on the weekly chart. And we saw that those candles were coming to here. If I go back up to my weekly, there we go, right? So we're seeing how our candles, we're seeing how our candles, we're seeing how our candles, we see how our candles have come into that area. We go down to our hour chart and we see that that is a lot of accumulation, up and down, up and down, up and down, up and down, and then it finally broke up out of it. So when we are looking to trade, we're not looking for this because this is not showing us anything. This is only going up and down and up and down. We need a clear lower low or higher high when we are looking to take this trade. So right now, we are definitely at a low, and I'm really expecting gold to bounce back up. Now, if it does, I know that these areas I gotta look for and I gotta be cautious about it because I know that, look, it's gonna come back here. You know, we know that. We know it's gonna come back here. I don't personally like to trade on the hour chart, but I do know this. 30-minute and 15-minute are my best friends. So I'm going to take this trend line off and I'm going to remove this, right? So we're looking at accumulation and we're looking at this drop. Now, what is going to be next for us to actually understand? So now that I'm at the 30-minute time frame, let me go ahead and put my high. 30 minutes, oh, it's going to be black for me. Let's get up at that low. All right. So now that we have those things, we have those two things marked up. What's going to be next? So what I like to do is that when I get to the 30-minute chart, I typically like to go ahead and add those indicators. Right? So remember, the market is closed. We don't really know what's going to happen when Sunday comes, but we do know this, is that we're expecting that our candles to do what? They're going to do some accumulation and they got to go back up into this buy, right? Especially depending on what oil is doing, especially what the dollar is going to be doing as of now. And we know that they just put this article out about Now the percentage that went up for mortgage rates and everything else. So things are starting to continue to go up into a rise, right? Um, Everything is just high. The mortgage rates are crazy, crazy, crazy high at this point. So the dollar, of course, we don't know what's going on with that dollar, but now it's time to put those indicators on. Let's see what we got, right? So I'm gonna go ahead and put my indicators on. And everybody, if you've been following my story, you know that I use that 200, 800, and that 50. I typically use the 10, but the 10 is really, it's okay. But I'm knowing that I have my 50 right here and I have my 200. Remember, the 200 and your 50, they are going to serve as your support and resistance, right? So now that I know that I have these two uh, indicators that also identify trends, I'm going to make those black. I know that my candles have to break that, right? So we knowing that if we go down to the weekly, we go down to the daily, we go down to these other areas, look at where on the weekly, look at where your candle is on the weekly, right? So it is hit this zone, it broke through there. And the only way that to me that gold is going to continue to drop is that it has to do what it's going to have to break this support. This support right here, gold is going to have to break through there. Now, there is a great possibility that gold can continue through this zone and continue on down. I don't even know if it's going to be able to do all of that. Like, but if it does, that's going to be insane. Insane. It's going to be so crazy. So let's go ahead and let's go back to our 30-minute chart. I just ain't never, I wasn't good at doing it. So, I mean, I'll try when I finish. Okay. Yes. So what we are looking for is that we're looking, we're trying to see what goal is actually going to do. So this is my 30-minute. And one thing that I know is that it definitely made what I call made the death cross. Of course, you can see anytime that your 50 and your 200 come into contact and they make a cross going into a downtrend, it's the death cross. Anytime that they come into contact and they cross and they go into the uptrend, on the upside, it's called the golden cross. So we know that once we made this death cross, that it wasn't playing, and especially because it had to come out of this accumulation. A lot of times we try to get these and we try to scalp these areas, but really and truly, honestly, that this was not a good thing to trade. This is what we were waiting on for it to actually come out, and that happened this morning. Like that happened at 2 a.m. At 2 a.m., that's when actually it started to make this drop. And I have actually noticed that when gold is dropping or when gold is doing something, typically all the other USD pairs are doing the same thing. Like GU will make a drop, I will see gold make a drop. Like even with like all of the major pairs, you are going to see some similarities in what they're doing. And they all typically are doing that. GU made a drop today, and so did gold. It made a drop, right? So the thing that we have to understand is that when you're trading forex and you're looking at these pairs, you're looking at these areas and you're saying, what are these other pairs doing, right? If you like gold, which I like gold because it pays well and it's a forex pair, but it will pay you like an indice, and I love it because it will give you a massive amount of money. It moves fast, but you just have to really honestly be careful that you don't over leverage your account, that you don't, put more, invest more into that account, because even on a 50 cent, you can definitely blow your account if you have a very small account. So you just have to really be intentional about the money that you have in that account and what your lot size is, because it's very, very important to understand gold and the lot and the lot size and the amount of money and just your leverage. Because one thing that I had to learn is that I would over leverage my account. And with gold, like you get in and it'll pull back and then it'll go up and it'll come back and it'll go up. And then when it finally wants to actually make the move, you have definitely had to close out because you are in the negative, or you are down so many pips, and you know, if I continue to let it go, I definitely will have to put more money in my account, right? So we don't want to do that. So now that we're on the 30-minute, we have to really, really understand what's going on. So we have our 200, we have our 50. So anytime I want to really see what's going on, is that I'm going to go and make a look at this 15-minute, right? So at the 15-minute, I do see my 200 is sitting here, and this is what my 200 was on the 30-minute. But I see that my 50 is here. So one thing that I will typically do, about 50 there, right? So I'm looking at this area, I'm looking at how my 50, I'm looking at these fractals. What I am expecting gold to do is that it's coming to this area. We needed to break this particular area. Now, if I was to look at this trade, I probably would scalp it, because I know from here to here, that's about 60 pips in quarters. It's 603 points, right? So, but I know that last time that my candles, they keep coming to this particular area. So I know that if it comes to this gold area, that I need to allow the candles to break, retest this area, because of the fact of how it's going up and down and up and back up and down. So there is a rejection on this particular resistance. So I need to allow it to break, right? So what do I do if I allow it to break? I allow it to come in, do whatever it needs to do, because your candles have to come to an area of support or resistance, figure out what's next, and then continue on. But the real move that we really want to catch, if it were me, I would wait for it to break this area, right? Because at this point, guess what? It's coming right back to here. But if it breaks that, then that means what? This high is higher than that. So now we're creating one more high. And if it breaks this, then we know that our continuation will definitely be back up to that particular area. And I have more points, right? Because I know that if I go to the 30-minute chart, or if I go to the 1 hour chart, that black line or that black resistance is where my 50 is sitting there. And so I want my 50 to be broken, right? I wanted to create a higher high with it. I wanted to go higher than the previous high. So that's the whole point, is to understanding, like, I needed to have a previous high. I need to break the previous high, because if it comes here and it breaks this, because you got all these candles that have come to this area, I needed to break it, retest it, and continue on, because this is where I really wanted to come, because I know that this accumulation happened over the past week. And I know that if my candles leave out of there, chances are they gotta come back to that particular accumulation area. So now that I have that set up, I know that, okay, this is all good. This is great. I see these areas. I see the support and resistance. I see all these different things. One thing that I love, and y'all know what I'm about to do. So I found this amazing indicator that actually is one of my favorite educators, Miss Lee Allen. She is a woman educator. She's been doing a lot of stuff. Her chart, though, sometimes it has a lot of stuff on there. I followed her journey. I've been to her classes. She is amazing with the teaching, with the skill, with pivots, learning how to really read, pivot, all that. But pivot, one thing that I learned is that it's all about Fibonacci too, because that is your support and resistance. So one thing that I'm going to actually see is that this is my last trend. So you don't have to you can go to the hour, you can go to the 4 hour, you could actually see the entire trend. So the trend actually started way up here. So if I wanted to do a Fibonacci, I could easily come down to this particular area, right? So let's look at what we got. So this is our 38%. But we see that our candles are hitting this particular, we're in between the 23 and the 38%. So I'm already knowing that, man, it's got to come back here, but chances are we're not going to get here maybe until what, midweek or something like that. So let's go back down to our 30-minute. We always do a fib within a fib, but I'm gonna take that fib off. Trade started here. Now look at what we got. It is sitting in between that 30%, y'all. Like, so that's why I say it's so important to allow the candles to break, because if it breaks the 30%, which is one of the strongest areas on the Fibonacci, if it breaks that 30%, then I know that I'm going to take it up to the 200, which is on the 30-minute. I got to take it up here. If I go down to the 15-minute, now I'm at the 23%. So the 23% has to be broken, right? But I know this black support and resistance line that I already have putting up here, it is sitting at the 30% zone. So I know that 30%, 50%, 618, those are very strong areas. And my 200 is sitting at the 618. So I know that if I break that 30%, I can take it up to the 618. Because if I take it up to 618, then I know that I can get out the trade at that point. But I know that I have to break that. But the thing is, a lot of times we see these candles and we do only if it breaks the 200, only if it breaks the 50, because it could come to the 50, bounce off of it and continue to that sale, right? That we all know. But once again, it has a lot of depending on what your indicators are doing, what your other indicators are doing, what your MACD is doing, what your RSI is doing, because those are indicators I use. It's the RSI, MACD, and I have my moving averages that are on here and they're working, right? So let's go ahead and let's take off this Fibonacci, because I'm already knowing that I gotta have these areas break. One of the things that I've actually used is the pivot, and I love it. So I see this 618, y'all. It's I love it when my markups are on point. So this pivot Fibonacci indicator is like amazing to me, because all it is me drawing the fib, but in the indicator, it draws it for you. So it's already, you don't have to kind of, you don't have to do the trend line or anything like that. Like, it's going to give you all of the percentages right there. Like, if you don't know, it's going to give it to you point blank period. It's going to give you the 618. It's going to give you 38%. It's going to give you the 50%. And one thing you have to understand is every time that our candles are hitting a 50% zone, it is telling you it's pivoting, right? It's going to make that pivot. It's going to make that area of about face. So this is why I love when I do my markups and the accuracy of them are on point, because I'm already knowing if I can bypass this, because look at what we are looking at now. So we're looking at the overall. So you can see these faint little green lines, and you see that you're in between your 618 and your 70%, right? So I'm on this time frame. So this is also letting me know that I still gotta break this, because if I do, it's gonna come up to this particular 200, y'all. And if I get to the 200, that is the 38% zone. So we already know that it's so much accumulation right up in here. So that is a possibility. It is going to buy back up into this accumulation. And if it buys back up and it doesn't break it, it may go back into that downtrend. But the thing we have to understand is what we really truly want is that we wanted to break the 50. If we break that 50 and then we retest that 50, then we know that we can potentially break that previous high, and then we can take it on to the buy, right? So I'm excited about this. I'm really hoping that gold does what I needed to do, especially if I utilize my other indicators, which are my MACD and which are the RSI. So if I'm looking at the MACD and I'm looking at the RSI right now, I can clearly see that on my MACD, I'm making a cross. And so I'll talk about the MACD in another video. We'll go into detail about how the MACD is used and also my RSI. Like my RSI is coming back into this faded zone. And you know that this is the middle, but once my RSI gets above that 60, it is game time, you guys. I'm so excited about this girl next week. So let's see what it's going to do. Let's hopefully that, you know, our candles are coming to those areas. Let me go ahead and get out of this and do what it needs to do. But right now it is Friday. It's really not a lot that we can really do at this point, but just sit back and wait and sit back and see what's going on. So I'm excited. This is the outlook on gold. I'm definitely going to have to come back, they say top of the week, and see what gold is actually doing. My classes are going to still be what they are, but definitely we are going to probably go over this on Monday, depending on what our indicators are doing when the market opened back up, because it's going to be Sunday. Market has to correct itself from Friday. We might get a push to the upside, but initially we definitely won't go to break 1655. Like we wanted to break 1655. We wanted to break. And when I say break, I mean we wanted to completely break it. We wanted to retest it, but we wanted to continue on. And how you actually, if you're on a higher time frame, you really don't really see the pullback that you want to see. I'm sorry, the retest that you want to see, but you will get some type of pullback action. And when you go down to the 15-minute, you can see your pullback just a little bit better. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually set an alert for this black line. That way I will actually know when my candles hit that area. So I'm excited. This is gold. It's Friday night. This is my gold outlook. I'm going to have these things marked up. I'm definitely going to come back on here and look at GU maybe, and look at another one of the pairs that move, and they all kind of tie in together. So yeah, I'm excited about gold. Let's see what gold can do. Let's see how we can move this area and potentially come bouncing off this demand area and breaking this orange line and really breaking this 1655 on the 15-minute or on the 30. Like we wanted to break it anyway. So definitely I'm excited about this. I think this is going to be an amazing week. We got gold doing some things. I know we got to check with the news and make sure the dollar, what's the dollar doing, and how all these things coincide, and what I call, you know, they have to coexist with each other. So definitely, let's see what it's going to actually do next week. I'm curious to see what it can actually play out, what can actually happen. And definitely, I'm looking forward to go next week, and I'm looking forward to putting some more videos out just about this, just about my life, just about my everyday thing as a mother, and just trying to learn how all to tie all this together and be a little bit more intentional with your actually trade. So yeah, bear with me, you guys, on posting more videos. And I'm excited about what the future can hold. We got some great stuff coming up. Me and my girl, Millionaire Verna, we are definitely going to be putting out more content with what we're trying to do, because she is definitely a guru when it comes to all of the crypto, all of the things investing. Even though crypto right now is doing what it's doing, she still has expanded her digital portfolio. I'm super proud of her. I'm super excited about what us women as Forex traders and Black women who are authentic in itself. Like we have a lot of authenticity. We're very genuine. We're not on here doing a whole bunch of flapping your wings. We ain't telling you we going through our signals, but we want to give you for real live teaching. But if you are interested in learning more about this and learning about just kind of completing the education process, definitely hit that link below. Hit me up, let me know, DM me, send me a message and say, hey man, I want to learn more about how you take this trades, and I want to be able to pace myself and be a little bit more consistent with my trading. That's what you want to definitely do. So go outlook as a Friday night. I should probably check back in on Sunday or Monday or Tuesday of next week to actually see what gold is doing, how we can execute this week, what type of week we got. Because remember, we are definitely going into the last week of the month, and we are embarking on the last 90 days of this year. And we got 90 more days to actually just execute these trades, man. Get the year out with the bang, go into 2023 with something amazing. And that's exactly what we plan to do. So this is the Mother Mother, and we are signing out. I hope everybody has a great, great, great day. And thanks for watching. And make sure that you hit that little red button. And make sure you subscribe to my channel if you like these videos. Let me know if you like them. Let me know if you don't like them. It's all good. It's all love. So just make sure that you subscribe to my channel. I'm putting out more videos. I got a whole bunch of stuff going on and definitely want to be more intentional. And we are going to get it popping. This is the Mother, and I'm out.